Alright guys, quick video for today. We're going to just take a look and a bit of review actually, because we're going to look at adding and subtracting integers and using them in word problems. Okay, so when we're looking at numbers that have integers and we need to know, are we going to use addition or subtraction? You're going to have to look at what the question actually asks. So addition, you're going to use this, you need to find the final result. Or we do this and then this, and it's the and then, right? What's the final? Or those kinds of things. Subtraction, very often used to find the change in, or the difference between, might be the difference between height. With the subtraction bit, it's always, I'm going to say always and then probably regret this later, it's always going to be the final, whatever it is, temperature, height, minus the initial or the starting. All right. So your steps, for solving word problems. Number one, decide what operation you're going to use. Number two, you're going to write the addition or subtraction statement. So you're actually going to write it out. You're not just going to say, oh, I did it in my head. I mathed in my head. No, you're going to actually write it out. Next, you'll solve the problem. So write it out, solve it, and then answer the question. Don't just leave numbers hanging all over the page. Actually give me a sentence of some sort to answer the question. All right, let's do a couple examples. All right, this is a tricky one here. It says February morning in Saskatoon, the air temperature was -15. Okay, there it is. Remember how we talk about wind chill being often colder than the air temperature? Well, this is the type of chart people would use to figure that out. Wind speed was 20 kilometers per hour. All right, so that's there. We look to see where do those meet. With the wind chill at -15 with a 20 kilometer an hour wind, it started off at wind chill of -24 degrees Celsius. All right, by mid-afternoon, the air temperature had increased by 10 degrees Celsius. Ooh, that's a little bit of adding. So we're going to actually have a multiple part question here. So by mid-afternoon, the air temperature had increased by 10 degrees Celsius. Oh, okay, so that's going to be -15. That's what we started with. Plus 10 degrees Celsius, which I can quickly and easily solve, and that's going to end up being -5. Lovely. The wind speed had decreased by 5 kilometers per hour. Now that's a little bit of a goofy word in there. Decreased by 5 kilometers per hour. So if the wind was blowing at 20, it has gotten less. So 20 is our initial minus, oops, that's not kilometers, that is kilometers per hour, minus 5 kilometers per hour equals 15 kilometers per hour. Lovely. So we have -5 degrees Celsius and 15 kilometers per hour. So -5, learn how to use my mouse. And 15, there it is, 15. It is now, we'll find that's -11. All right, so determine the change in the wind chill from morning to afternoon. All right, so morning was -24. Afternoon, -11. So determine the change. Here we're going to go final minus initial. So it's going to be minus 11 degrees Celsius minus negative 24 degrees Celsius. Okay, negative 11 minus negative 24. It's like adding positive 24. All right, and so this is going to end up being essentially 24 minus 11, which will, you can do this in your calculator, but you should be able to do this one by hand as well. Right, this ends up being that we've got a negative number plus a positive number, so we can take our positive minus our negative. 24 minus 11 is going to be 13 degrees Celsius, positive 13. It says determine the change in wind chill from the morning to the afternoon. The wind chill was 13 degrees warmer in the afternoon. Degrees Celsius warmer. Ooh, I can spell. Really, I can. Warmer. Wow. In the afternoon. So I know that you've been listening. Otherwise, you've just written Wamer. Warmer in the afternoon. Lovely. All right, example 2 is a little bit nicer. Okay, so pause that if it needed to get answers down or something. Number 2 is a bit nicer. On a January day in Calgary, a Chinook raised the temperature from minus 17 degrees Celsius to plus 13 degrees Celsius. What was the change in temperature? All right, so change in, that obviously means that we're looking at subtraction. So here we're going to have plus 13 degrees Celsius minus negative 17. Why did I set it up this way? Again, we're always doing final, so that's on here, minus the initial, or final minus the starting. All right, so we start with, when we're looking for a change, it's always what we ended up with minus what we started with. All right, so in this case, 13 minus negative 17, that becomes plus positive 17. Oops, come back here. Which is going to end up being plus 30 degrees Celsius. What was the change in temperature? The temperature went up by 30 degrees Celsius. Or the temperature increased. And this happens, right? We've experienced this even in haze. I've heard of a house in Pincher Creek, actually, when a Chinook hit, where as the Chinook was hitting, they had a thermometer on both sides. And on one side, the side closer to the Chinook, it was like 20 degrees Celsius warmer than at the other side of the house where the Chinook hadn't quite got to yet, which that's how fast they can change the temperature. So here the temperature increased by 30 degrees Celsius. And hopefully you can write neater with your pen or pencil than I am writing with my mouse on the screen. One April morning in Churchill, Manitoba, the temperature was minus 14 degrees. In the late afternoon, the temperature was 9 degrees Celsius higher. What was the temperature in the late afternoon? Right, in this case, we're adding. Right, we're going to go negative 14 plus 9. Oops, let's actually write that neatly. So negative 14 degrees Celsius plus 9 degrees Celsius. That's going to be equal to negative 5 degrees Celsius. And write my sentence, was minus 5 degrees Celsius in the afternoon. Lovely. Now, if we take a quick peek here, your assignment is not showing up on this page, but it is showing up in your at-home learning package. So have fun and good luck.